Thanks, Bill.
All right, good.
Check it out, guys. We're doing it again. I've got a 1988 Honda CR250R, absolute ripper, that we're going to be posting up with a $1 start bid and no reserve. I'm going to give you the scoop on the bike. It's got the factory pipe that's dinged up, and the frame paint's a little bit rough around the edges. Chris got this thing running, just went through it, and it runs like a raped ape. It needs a little bit of work. I'm going to go over that with you now, but we're going to shoot it up on eBay at a $1 start bid and no reserve, and you guys are going to determine the price. This is the Ken Jr. inflation sale. We see these 250s going for $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 for restored examples. We had an 89 that went for $89.50 recently. Just a very clean, refreshed bike with a powder-coated frame and a rebuilt engine. Clearly a high retail cap on these CRs, and for good reason. The transmissions are phenomenal. Bikes are just indestructible, and you can't find good steel frames anymore. Some of the cycle parts just can't be replaced. This bike is a good, solid running core for a serious restoration, or, you know, do some odds and ends on it and take it to the racetrack. So in the service shop, Chris did a compression test. It had 150 PSI compression and excellent spark. Replace the spark plug. Chris mentioned that the kicker skips. I can demonstrate that for you now. So the kicker, you can crank it through the stroke gently, but if you try giving it a good solid kick, the kicker gears will skip. So that's a known problem. Chris changed the gear lube, installed a used tire tube and rim lock in the rear. This is a mint used takeoff from our inventory. Installed a brand new gold chain, replaced the air filter with a brand new twin air, lubed the air filter, removed the air box and cleaned the air box, clean set and adjusted the carburetor, new vent and new fuel lines, installed some new hardware, miscellaneous hardware throughout, installed a new takeoff front countershaft sprocket, rerouted all of the cables to factory spec, installed a brand new fuel petcock, added 1 gallon of VP110, mixed 32-1, and then a test ride. And it runs really solid HPP motor. No excessive vibration or rattling or piston slap. No records as far as the motor being rebuilt, but I do see what looks like to me a new center case gasket. Let me see. So what does the bike need? I would go through the suspension, chassis bushings and bearings, maybe some new wheel bearings. The brakes are solid from what I can tell. The carburetor has just been serviced. The fuel system's all good. And the motor runs like a raped ape. It runs solid, definitely solid. Maybe freshen up the top end before the race season if you have the engine out of the frame anyways. What I would do is pull the motor, powder coat the frame, and just do a sort of a nut and bolt on it. A really solid core here. You know the electronics are good. You know that the motor's solid and the transmission's good. The water pump's good. It's not you know, it doesn't, no blown head gasket, no water pump seal to be heard of, no blown crank seals. This is something that you could put a top end on, do a little chassis refresh, and then you really have something. So let me see. The original foot pegs are present. Maybe put some oversized IMS pegs on it. The wheel set's decent. I don't even know if I would put a new wheel set on it. Maybe if you're doing a frame off, you could freshen it up with some gold excels. But as far as the radiators are present, no leaking to be heard of. Lots of potential here. We stopped. We're not going to go any further. Our loss is your gain. A lot of bikes in the backlog. We can only work on so many. So $1 start bid and no reserve, just like the 87 CR500 that we put up. This one is really solid. You could buy it, ride it, work on it at your own pace. This is an opportunity for someone to make a deal on a running, riding, tuned by the Wizard 88 CR250. for a super low entry cost. And we're going to put it out there, and I hope someone gets a phenomenal deal on it. Lots of potential here, guys. Message your zip code for a shipping quote. Good luck bidding, and God bless America.